Hello everyone, welcome back to PST channel. Today, the Astral Express continues its journey, and we're continuing the story with Honkai Star Rail version 3.3. Before we blast off into the unknown, have you caught up on our entire main story recap? It's crucial because version 3.3 marks a significant turning point, with truly dramatic events about to unfold. If you're all caught up, then get ready to be transported to the fascinating world of Amphoreus, a land steeped in the mystique of titans and ancient mythology. Buckle up, Trailblazers. It's going to be an exciting ride. The Trailblazer was at the vortex of Genesis, reviewing the recent Coreflame pursuit. Cipher called, asking the Trailblazer to help find treasure sunk underwater in the city of Styxia as the river level had significantly dropped. The Trailblazer agreed, seeking an activity to relieve stress. Upon arriving in Styxia, Cipher, disguised as Flame Reaver, teased the Trailblazer and Mem. Cipher then explained the power of the Titan of trickery. It could make people believe whatever was said, and that belief would then become reality. Just then, Phainon contacted the Trailblazer, asking for help with combat training at the Grove. Cipher told them to help her find the treasure first, after which she would take them to the Grove herself. A few days later, Dan Heng brought Lygus to a train crash site. Lygus volunteered to help repair the train. Dan Heng was willing to let Lygus do so, but still wondered why Lygus, who was on a different side from the Elder Council, would help them. During their conversation, a group of assassins from the Elder Council, calling themselves cleaners, surrounded Dan Heng. Lygus stated that he would remain neutral in this matter, uninvolved, and would not interfere regardless of what Dan Heng decided to do. At the Grove, Phainon was training against a simulated image of Flame Reaver created by Mem's power of memory recall. The three of them decided to take a break from training and went to the library to find books to read and relax. While they were in the library, the cleaners appeared and surrounded the three of them. In Okima, Hyacine and Triby were discussing plans to build a Twilight Plaza in the city. Crysos came to meet them to check on security, as there had been frequent robberies in the city recently. Soon after, a townsperson rushed in to inform the three of them of bad news concerning Aglaea. Not long before this, at Marmorial Place, Kennis had led a group of cleaners to surround Aglaea, intending to kill her. They used a young girl Aglaea had spoken to at the market as a hostage to prevent Aglaea from retaliating. Aglaea thus thought it might be time for her to sacrifice her life, according to a prophecy, and she began to reminisce about past events. 1,000 years ago, at Marmorial Market, was when she first met Cipher. At that time, Cipher was a homeless child who had migrated from the city of Dolos to escape the Black Tide. Cipher had brought stolen valuables to buy luxurious clothes that Aglaea tailored at her dressmaking shop. Aglaea realized Cipher had stolen the items, but accepted them willingly. In exchange, she gave Cipher a pair of golden boots. Cipher accepted them with joy. Back in Styxia, Cipher and Bartholos were still in the city, continuing their search for treasure chests. While finding many treasure chests, Cipher noticed something on Bartholos. She grabbed him and, upon searching him, found an insect belonging to Aglaea. It had been secretly attached to him since Aglaea and Bartholos had met at Marmorial Market. Aglaea sent a message through the insect, apologizing for how her coldness had worsened her relationship with Cipher, and that they never had a chance to talk and reconcile. Aglaea begged for Cipher to return and help Phainon with the Coreflame hunting mission and bid Cipher farewell, stating that from then on she and Cipher would not see each other again. After the conversation ended, Cipher recalled a time she had gone to Aglaea, injured, with golden blood flowing on her face. This led to the discovery that she was one of the Chrysos Heirs. For Cipher, who saw herself as just a thief, this realization made her very upset, feeling unworthy of being a heroine. Aglaea told Cipher to come live with her. Cipher wondered why Aglaea wasn't afraid she would deceive her to steal valuables from the shop. Aglaea replied that even without using the Titan's power, she could sense that Cipher liked it there and wanted to stay. So, Cipher agreed to live at Aglaea's tailor shop. At the train crash site, while Dan Heng was surrounded by the cleaners, Cryteros tracked him down to ensure his safety and drive off the cleaners. He also brought the bad news that Aglaea had now passed away. At the Grove, the Trailblazer and Phainon easily defeated the cleaners. Before long, the leader of the assassins revealed that their only intention had been to delay Phainon's group and keep them away from Okima. Suddenly, a phone notification alerted them that the World Wound Web had temporarily stopped functioning and that Aglaea was dead. At the foundry in Okima, Aglaea's insect went to find Chartonus to ask him to fulfill a promise they had made, to take this insect, into which she had transferred her consciousness and divinity, and forge it with a gift she had received from a blind child in the market. This was to become a device to aid Phainon's group. The Trailblazer and Phainon arrived in Okima. At Marmorial Palace, they met Dan Heng and Cryteros, who were already waiting. Cryteros explained the situation. No one knew the exact details, but townspeople had seen Aglaea fall from the Chrysos air bath. Upon examining her body, it was found she had been stabbed through the heart with a short knife, the weapon of the cleaners. He told the three of them, the Trailblazer, Phainon and Dan Heng, to meet Tribby and Hyacine to find out the truth of what happened. As for himself, he would patrol the surroundings for security. Upon meeting Hyacine, Phainon told her to go rest first, as she had been working hard as a nurse for many days. The three of them went to find Tribby and Trinon in the garden. Tribby said that Aglaea had written a letter and left it with her to give to Phainon when the time was right. Phainon read the letter Aglaea had left. In it, Aglaea stated that after the debate, the meeting had concluded. She found that the divinity had consumed her humanity and judgment, degrading them to the point where she could no longer govern Okima effectively. Therefore, she sacrificed herself. Now, Phainon has the worthy to be the next leader. After finishing the letter, Phainon asked Dan Heng to tell Cryteros to announce to all citizens that he would give a speech at Marmorial Palace the next day. Chartonus came to Phainon to present Dawnmaker, a new sword forged especially for Phainon, and gave him a necklace in which Aglaea's divinity was imbued. The next day, Phainon gave an inspiring speech to the citizens, declaring that he would become the next leader of Okima. He would inherit Aglaea's will, take care of all the citizens, and announce preparations for the journey to hunt the Coreflame of Aquila, Titan of Sky. Several days later, Cipher returned to Okima at Dawncloud. Phainon met her to ask for help in protecting the Coreflame of Kefil from Canis and the Cleaners while they were on their mission to find Aquila. Cipher willingly agreed to help and warned them to be wary of Flame Reaver, as that entity was currently watching Okima. Meanwhile, Hyacine had gone to the Grove alone to search for the ancestral spirits of her tribe. She used a spirit-calling tool, a traditional artifact of her tribe, to borrow their power to create a rainbow bridge to journey to the Sky City to defeat Aquila. Dan Heng came to Hyacine at the Grove to protect her from the dangers of the Black Tide and the Cleaners. Hyacine then asked Dan Heng to walk with her. Hyacine searched for and spoke with the slumbering ancestral spirits in order of seniority starting in the Grove, and followed the path back to the Vortex of Genesis, where she met Cipher for the first time. The two greeted each other before parting ways to continue their respective missions. Eventually, she met the spirit of her grandmother in the city of Kremnos and asked her to tell the story of Celios, the heroine of her people. Celios was a Chrysos Heir, a most skilled female warrior. She collaborated with two beasts, Solarbis and Lunabis, to successfully conquer Aquila in the Coreflame chase, becoming the first of Chrysos Heirs who slay the god. However, when Aquila died, the sky began to collapse, and the people on the ground were terrified. Celios, therefore, merged her body with Aquila's to carry the sky from collapse, and sent a message to all humans that at the end of the prophecy of Genesis, her descendant would create a rainbow bridge to return to the sky to receive the Coreflame from her. A few days later, the Trailblazer, Danheng, Phainon, and Hyacine gathered at Dawncloud to perform the ritual to create the rainbow bridge to journey to the Sky City, the Eye of Twilight.
Friends, let us soar together.
Flying along the Rainbow Bridge is truly an amazing experience.
What? The
The
rainbow
Eye of Twilight.
bridge gets skipped just like that.
It's the legendary
We don't have
Skyfortress
like
of Aquila.
walking on the rainbow bridge.
Never imagined that one day I'd be able to step foot on it.
Upon arriving in the Sky City, the four of them came to a large hall where the weather control device for all of Amphoreus was located, accessible via a projection system. Mem used her power to explore memories to find a way to activate the machine. Exploring the memories revealed that in the past, the inhabitants of the Sky City had been divided, and a civil war had broken out between the Sunfolk and Rainfolk tribes, and Aquila disliked rain clouds and would constantly try to avoid them. Hyacine successfully activated the machine. A large screen lit up, revealing an eye, which was an avatar of Aquila residing within the screen. They all then sought a way to activate other parts of the city's system to use the projection of the entire city to change the weather to only rain clouds in order to corner Aquila and force it to reveal its true form.
Awaken, celestial mural.
Golden clouds, blazing radiance. What a breathtaking scene. How chilling. I wonder if Aquila is also watching us.
While searching for a path in the city, a mysterious beast appeared in a memory form. Everyone decided to follow the beast's path until they encountered another beast. Hyacine immediately understood that the two beasts were Lunabis and Solibis. At this moment, Lunabis wanted everyone to release Solibis' spirit from the body that had been consumed by the black tide. After successfully releasing Solibis' spirit, Hyacine introduced herself to the two beasts as Celios' heir, here to hunt the Coreflame as foretold in Celios' prophecy, and recounted the legend she had learned. The beasts said that the legend had been greatly altered from the original, and acknowledged Hyacine and her companions for their courage and determination. Meanwhile, Aquila's eye had flown away from the screen. The two beasts then guided everyone to the Sunfolk's Hall to hunt Aquila. Upon reaching the hall where Aquila was hiding, Hyacine activated the machine to create rain clouds, causing the Titan to flee to another part of the city. Solibis told everyone to go to Lunabis to reach the other hall. Lunabis led everyone to the Rainfolk's Hall. Hyacine activated the machine again. Aquila fled to the upper part of the city.
Aquila has left.
We've already changed 2 scenes on the mural. Where else can they go?
Everyone followed Aquila back to the main hall. The Titan fled to the upper floor. Phainon asked what was happening. The two fiends then recounted the true story of the battle between Celios and Aquila, while everyone was making their way, pursuing it to the city's upper level. When everyone reached the topmost floor, both Solibis and Lunabis affirmed they would help Hyacine fight Aquila. They asked Hyacine if she was prepared to accept the whole truth of what happened 1,000 years ago. Hyacine willingly accepted, no matter what the truth might be. Titan royal guards, consumed by the black tide, appeared to defend the 3 remaining weather control platforms. After defeating the royal guards, Mem sensed surging memories all around. The townspeople were crying out in pain. Hyacine gradually activated the devices. Memory crystals revealed the entirety of the true events that had transpired. The conflict between the Sunfolk and Rainfolk tribes of the Sky City had led Celios to decide to eliminate the Titan, believing it to be the cause of human conflict. But after Celios defeated Aquila and fused her body with the Titans, a new power faction emerged, the New Believers, who worshipped Celios as a god instead. These people oppressed those who worshipped the original Titan. Chrysos intervened in the governance of the Sky City and planned to eliminate Celios by killing the Chrysos Heirs, hiding among the Skyfolk. This caused a war between the Chrysos Heirs and those who opposed the prophecy, leading people to see the golden blood as a curse. Celios witnessed the evil that arose in humanity, leading her to declare the annihilation of all inhabitants of the Sky City. As people were dying, a young Chrysos Heir woman from the Sky City came to Celios alone to plead for forgiveness for the people of the Sky City. She argued that although humans were weak and imperfect, they had endured and spread civilization across the world for many ages. She asked for a second chance to establish the veneration of heroes, so that people would protect each other and fight against all obstacles for generations to come until the end of time arrived. Then her descendant would return to this Sky City to receive the Coreflame from Celios and fulfill the sacred prophecy. Celios saw her determination and spared her. She bestowed the blessing of the sky upon her descendants and declared she would wait until the destined heir came to receive the Coreflame from her. Having witnessed all these events, Hyacine finally understood that in truth, she and her tribe were not descended from the great Celios, as long-told legends claimed, but rather from an ordinary individual who had once sought mercy from Celios. Hyacine asked the two fiends if, after 1,000 years, they would punish the descendant of that Chrysos heir, who had returned to the Sky City as promised, for the sins of the past. The two fiends replied to Hyacine that time had changed their perception of humans. They had watched the sacrifices of many heroes striving to successfully the Coreflame chase. Now, they were willing to support Hyacine to help humanity bring back the light once more. Therefore, Phainon and Hyacine declared their challenge to Celios, who was now a Titan, to once again contend for the Coreflame, to prove that humanity was worthy of continued existence.
So we are pulling her out. See. Look like a skeleton, dragon, or larvae.
This weather, please! Titan is quiet! Don't do this! Taste the fiery blaze of Dawnmaker!
If you could still hear my voice, Lady Celiosi! Behold, the strength of those who pledge to save the world!
Down the full sun! Let's finish this! You too will be cleansed with gold!
Oh, second form.
Quick, behind me!
Embrace new life, Pollux.
There is another world waiting to be saved. I have no intention of dying here with you. Titan! Open to nothing!
Show his new sword.
The battle with the Titan caused the floor of the structure to collapse, plunging towards the golden pit beneath the Sky City. Aglaea's necklace pulsed with energy, weaving protective fibers that saved Phainon and the others from the fall. Aquila's form sank to the depths of the pit. Hyacine absorbed the Coreflame of the sky, transforming into a demigod. Suddenly, the structures of the Sky City began to crumble once more. Phainon urged everyone to head to Oronyx's power platform, intending to use its temporal energy to retrieve Aglaea's necklace. However, the platform was damaged, rendering retrieval impossible. The necklace, containing Aglaea's last vestiges of consciousness, plummeted into the golden pit below. Phainon made the difficult decision to lead everyone in a hasty escape from the collapsing Sky City.
Come on. We have to get out of here.
I shall have my final bath.
As they searched for an escape route, Aquila's shriek echoed. The Titan reappeared, its form now corrupted and consumed by the black tide.
The Titan! Their Coreflame has already... Could this be Celiosi?
Third form. Not many boss have third form. Wow. Love this. Come on, girls.
To life?
The Coreflame has been taken, yet they still move. Lady Celiosi, is that you? Heroes, help us!
Why does she look even stronger than Titan? Wow, epic scene.
Of the sky. Witness the will of humanity.
Sun and Moon, Pokemon.
Meanwhile, 1,000 years in the past, Cipher had infiltrated the chambers of the chief priest at Dawncloud to steal valuables. The gravely ill chief priest, confined to his bed, mistook her for a temple priest and divulged a critical secret. Keffel's final prophecy, which stated that the light of the Dawn device would protect Akima for only next 300 years. With hearing this truth, Cipher, after the chief priest's revelation, decided to impersonate the priest. She proclaimed Keffel's prophecy to the citizens, but deliberately twisted its meaning, declaring that the Dawn device would protect Akima forever. This led the populace to rejoice and firmly believe that the Dawn device would never fade. Returning to the present, Cipher arrived back in Styxia and swiftly dealt with the cleaners who attempted to assassinate her. She searched their bodies for any valuables and clues regarding Sheenus's whereabouts. As she moved through the city, Flamer Eva materialized, intent on seizing Keffel's Coreflame from Cipher. Cipher cleverly lured Flamer Eva into a chase, leading him towards the summit of the tall tower, where Castoris had once battled Pollux. At the tower's apex, Flamer Eva finally caught up to Cipher, and the two clashed in a fierce battle.
Only a mindless fool would fall for the same trick 3 times in a row. Victory is mine, fiend.
ก็ฉีกโดน
Cipher faltered and was ultimately defeated by Flame Reaver. Gravely wounded, her thoughts turned to Aglaea and Tribby, a pang of regret for her recklessness striking her. Yet, she had successfully protected Kephal's Coreflame, and a sense of satisfaction washed over her for having played her part in the Coreflame chase. Aglaea's sentence, speaking through the insect, praised Cipher, calling her a heroine whose actions had saved everyone. Cipher's deception, Aglaea said, had allowed humanity to survive for 1,000 years. Hearing this brought Cipher very happy in her final moments before she passed away. Meanwhile, in the Sky City, the Coreflame within Hyacine allowed her to sense that the Dawn device had extinguished. Mem, too, felt a wave of panic and terror emanating from the people below.
Always be lies, Cipher. But sometimes they can be more noble than the truth.
Hyacine then requested Dan Heng to use a special dimensional gate device to transport her to the vortex of Genesis, so she could quickly return the Coreflame. Then she will return to the Sky City to maintain a protective ward over the people from above. This meant she and Phainon's group would have to part ways. Dan Heng complied immediately. Upon arriving, Hyacine performed the ritual to return the Coreflame. She conversed with the fiends and the spirit of Celios. This interaction allowed the two beasts to finally be released from their long-held duties. Celios, in turn, relinquished her prejudice against humanity, acknowledging the unwavering determination and brave of the new generation. Meanwhile, Phainon, the Trailblazer, and Dan Heng reached Okema at Dawncloud and rushed towards the Council Plaza to retrieve Kephal's Coreflame. There, they found Kenneth, kneeling and chanting prayers with a deranged madness. When broke the seal, the Coreflame within was revealed to be an ordinary earthen jar. Phainon was certain this was Cipher's handiwork, a sign that the true Coreflame was still safe. He then hurried towards the vortex of Genesis, intending to wait for Cipher there. As they journeyed, Flamer Eva appeared, tailing Phainon's group.
Don't move when they talk also.
Everyone! Look! Behind us!
Flame Reaver again.
They still showed up.
Despite their haste, Flamer Eva caught up to them. They had no choice but to turn and fight.
Undertale again.
Leave this to Casterus and me.
The only person who can go toe-to-toe
With the aid of Medei, Casterus, and Tribby, Phainon, the Trailblazer, and Dan Heng managed to escape Flamer Eva. The trio returned to the garden at Marmorial Palace, where they witnessed Hyacine's rainbow-hued bubbles shielding the citizens from the encroaching black tide. They rushed to assist. As they made their way towards the vortex of Genesis, a shadowy form of Flame Reaver appeared. Dan Heng volunteered to hold it off, urging the Trailblazer and Phainon to flee. Phainon and the Trailblazer reached a chamber containing a basin of spirit water, which guided them into the vortex. Royal guards awaited them there. Phainon instructed the two guards to quickly rally their forces and assist in evacuating citizens from various locations to safe places. He also tasked them with escorting the Trailblazer and Dan Heng back to the train, now fully repaired by Lygus. With Aquila vanquished, he explained, there might be a safe passage from the sky. Phainon then apologised to the Trailblazer for making these arrangements without prior notice, confessing his desire for them to return home and continue their pioneering journey that awaited. Phainon separated from the Trailblazer and entered the chamber. However, the spirit water had dried up due to the black tide. Trinan appeared, explaining that all the spirit water throughout Okema had vanished. Thus, she had come to wait for Phainon here and summoned Bartholos to appear. Bartholos revealed himself and recounted the truth. Cipher had used her trickery power to deceive all of Amphoreus into believing the Dawn device would shine forever. She had also ensured his survival, the real Zagreus. by returning the Coreflame of trickery, replacing it with Kephaler's Coreflame within his body long ago. Now that the light had faded, it signified Cipher's death. He would now fulfill his promise to Cipher, to sacrifice his own life to release the Coreflame for Phainon, proving that the Titan of Trickery was the true saviour of Amphoreus. Zagreus was gone. Kephaler's Coreflame manifested. Trinan told she would use all her remaining power to open the Century Gate and send Phainon to the vortex of Genesis. This would be their final meeting, but she believed all Chrysos heirs would surely meet again in the New World.
Golden blood.
All shall bid farewell to one, and that person alone will witness the miracle. Such is destiny.
Become the dawn. Deliver.
Elsewhere, in Okema, projections of Herta and Scrulum materialized. The two had collaborated to deal with Ligus, who was guarding the exterior, and had breached the defense systems to enter Amphoreus. Scrulum prioritized locating the Trailblazer and Dan Heng. Herta added that Black Swan had provided information suggesting March 7th's consciousness might also be trapped within Amphoreus. Their conversation revealed the true origin of Amphoreus, and that the imprisoned Lord Ravager was, in fact, a remaining Emperor's scepter. Meanwhile, Phainon had entered the vortex of Genesis and encountered Ligus. Ligus revealed his true identity to Phainon and urged him to proceed with the Coreflame delivery to create the New World as foretold in the prophecy. Before Phainon could begin the Coreflame delivery ceremony, a young woman appeared. She is Cyrene.
You think so too, right?
Cyrene. So cute.
And so, at the very precipice of a new beginning, with the fate of worlds hanging in the balance, a figure once thought lost to the tides of fate reappears, casting all prophecies into doubt. Cyrene, long believed missing, perhaps even dead, now stands before them. What does her sudden return signify at this crucial juncture, and what secrets does she carry from the shadows? The answers, dear listeners, await in the next thrilling chapter of our tale. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe for more movie-style game stories. We cover everything from classic RPGs like Final Fantasy to the latest mobile and MMO. Life's busy, so we keep games short and sweet. Get the story without the time commitment a quarter of the time. All the fun. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.